So, welcome, good morning. Start to make your way onto your back. If you want to use any props like cushions or maybe blocks or something behind the back of the head or the knees, simply to get yourself a little bit more comfortable, then you're very welcome to do so. If it feels better for you just to simply lie flat, then that's also fine. And take a few moments just to get yourself into a space, a comfortable position, so that you can find some stillness and allow yourself to settle and relax. So worrying less about what shape our body's in, whether the legs are extended or whether the knees are bent, and just really closing off the eyes and noticing what feels good for us today. Once you've got into that space through the body, you can either rest the hands on the tummy or the chest, or maybe just have your arms alongside you. Have a sense that the back of your head is pressing back down into the floor. Feel the weight of the back of your shoulders resting on the mat. And start to allow the muscles along your spine just to relax and soften here too. Maybe you're just parting the top set of teeth from bottom in order to relax into the jaw. And take a moment to soften your forehead so that you feel the scalp releasing. Just checking that you're not unconsciously holding in that space. And perhaps you're beginning to notice what's going on for you today. Starting to scan through your physical body to understand if there are any spaces that might be feeling a little bit niggly. Maybe spaces where you're holding on to tension or tightness. Making any little mental notes in the mind, particularly if you're kind of working with an injury this morning. And then checking in on yourself in terms of the more subtle aspects of your well-being. Noticing how you're feeling energetically. Are you already feeling very awake and alive today? Or are you still kind of in that stage of feeling as though you're waking up and bringing yourself to life? And there's no right or wrong. Nothing positive or negative, just noticing. And from there, starting to notice how you're breathing. Perhaps it's just a little rise and fall in the chest. And see if breath by breath you can start to draw a little more air in on your inhalation so that you feel the belly lift and expand, and also the rib cage flood with air. Take long and extended breaths out. Have that sense that you're trying to draw every last drop of air out from the lungs, really taking that big, long, full exhale. And continue this. So your breath starts to become a full body experience. You can feel it moving, but you can also perhaps hear the sound of your breath moving through the back of your throat. And if you're someone who works with Ujjayi breath, maybe you're taking a little restriction into the back of the throat to allow your breath to grow that little bit louder. And our practice, I know, is always kind of involving the breath or around our breath, but today I really want us to use it in order to discover and also to kind of ride out the storm of the poses that we come into. That doesn't mean to say that this is going to be a really difficult practice necessarily, but when we are in challenging poses, it's so important that the breath is the first thing we turn to in order to get us there. And we're all guilty of having those moments. So we think, oh, I just can't do this one. Or like, I actually want to do something else right now. So in moments like that, it's just like, can I switch on my breath a little bit more? Can I deepen it? Can I listen into it? And can I use it in order to build my resilience in this posture and to maybe learn something new about it? Because no matter how long we've been doing yoga, there's always something new to learn about postures or ourselves. So just taking a final couple of big breaths here to center ourselves. And if you do have another intention that you would like to work with in your practice today, then please just take a moment now to bring that into your heart space. Well done. Okay, let's gently start to draw our knees into our chest. Give them a little squeeze, a little hug in towards you, and just rock from left to right. Massage the back of your body into the floor, feeling that sense that you're pressing down through the low back, maybe massaging out around the kidney area. And then slowly starting to find your way to stillness. If you have anything behind the back of the head, just slide it out for now so that you can rest the back of your head down to the floor. And we'll interlace our hands over the top of our right shin and stretch our left leg out along the mat. So just opening up into the hip here. On your inhale, flex through both of your feet. And as you breathe out, think about sending the sole of your left foot forwards toward the space in front of you. So you're really pressing down through the back of your left leg. And then gently starting to encourage your right knee just slightly closer toward the right armpit. And if you've got quite a lot of space in the hip here, you might even be able to just encourage the knee into the crook of the elbow and start to draw it down. So nice, big, expansive breaths here. Feeling into that space in the body. Keeping the jaw relaxed and the shoulders nice and soft. Let's move from here into half happy baby. So I'd like you to bring the sole of your right foot to face the ceiling, and you can either hold on to the back of your right thigh, or you could hold on to the outer edge of the right foot if that's accessible for you this morning. Take your left hand, place it on the top of your left hip so that you're not kind of rolling yourself over toward the right side. Deep breath in. On your exhale, again, keep pressing the back of your left leg down into the mat. And on your exhale, you're just gently encouraging the right knee slightly closer toward the right armpit. Think of it more as creating the direction of your knee moving that. Think of it more as moving your knee in that direction rather than pulling it down. So it's just like, this is the way that it will eventually go. Take another full breath in, and on your exhale, bend your left knee to bring the sole of your left foot down to the floor. We're going to come into single pigeon from here. So the right ankle comes across the left thigh to create this figure four shape through the legs. And if the right hip is very tight, you can stay here. But if you're coming deeper today, start to draw the legs toward you. Either interlacing your hands behind the left thigh, maybe even over top of left shin. And then on your exhale, as you draw the left thigh towards you, think about sending this right knee forwards into space. Maybe you're closing off your eyes here and again, just getting into your breath and noticing the sensations that are coming up. Can you meet the sensations in outer right hip with a deeper and fuller breath? So again, we have that sense of riding out the posture using the breath. Maybe you're having an intention to send your inhale all the way down into outer right hip, and an intention on your exhale to soften and release anything that you're holding on to there, physically or energetically. Well done. Take one more final big breath here. And then on your exhale, bring the sole of your left foot back down to the floor, keeping this figure 4 shape through your legs. The arms come down alongside the body, and we're going to come up into a bridge variation from here. So nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, press down through the sole of your left foot to start to elevate your hips. Now, if this feels too much for the right hip, or if it just feels very unsteady, you can bring the feet side by side and come in to a more traditional variation of bridge. Otherwise, sticking with this shape in the legs, and wherever you're at, really squeezing the bottom, and notice how that helps to stabilize you here. Again, this is a tricky posture, so try and listen into the sound of the breath, try and feel the breath moving through the body, and using that concentration on your breath in order to help you stay here. Take one more full inhalation, and on your exhale, slowly and gently start to release yourself all the way back down to the mat. Well done. Hug both knees into the chest, give them a little bit of a shake out, or draw a little circle with the knees if you need to. And we'll take all of that to the second side. So let's draw the left knee towards us, interlacing hands over left shin, stretch the right leg out along the floor, take a nice full breath all the way into the belly, press the sole of the right foot forwards, and as you exhale, you're gently taking the left knee in the direction of the left armpit. So there's this sense that the legs are traveling in opposite directions. If you manage to take your left shin and knee into the crook of the left elbow, you can do so again here. But again, most importantly, just check in on whether this is comfortable for you and whether you can breathe into that outer left hip. Take a full breath in through your nose. Exhale to find half happy baby. So sole of the left foot is almost like it's standing on the ceiling, either holding onto the back of the left thigh or maybe holding onto the outer edge of the left foot if you can, and placing your right hand onto the top of the right hip. So the bottom is grounded down to the floor. We're not rolling over to the left side, and we're gently, again, just encouraging the left knee in the direction of the armpit, but without pulling it down, without kind of forcing the movement too much. Keep sending the breath to wherever you feel this posture in your body today. And again, there's no right or wrong. It's difficult for us to say like a blueprint for every pose. Oh, you're going to feel it in this particular space, because every day will feel different depending on where you're tight in your body. So just taking your awareness to where you need to and breathing into that space. Take a nice big inhale, bend the right knee, sole of right foot to floor, coming into our little single pigeon. So the left ankle crosses the right thigh, the left knee moves nice and wide, and you're either staying here or drawing the legs towards you. Interlacing your hands, maybe behind the back of the right thigh, maybe over the top of the right shin. Flex both of your feet, take a big full breath in, and on your exhale, again here, think about sending your left knee forwards and away. And this is one of those postures that's really lovely to explore with the breath. So meet the intensity of this pose with the intensity of your breath. And make those little observations. Is the left side a little bit tighter than the right? And can you challenge yourself not to label those observations as good or bad, positive or negative? Can you just observe them for what they are? Take another full breath in. And on your out breath, keeping this figure 4 shape in the legs, the sole of the right foot comes down to the floor, the arms come down alongside us. We take a full breath into the belly and we exhale, lifting up through the hips, finding our way into our bridge variation. So again, if this placement of the legs doesn't feel quite right, bring the soles of both feet down to the floor and elevate the hips in more of a traditional bridge pose. Otherwise, we're squeezing into the bottom just to steady ourselves, just noticing the power that we have in our glutes, a space in the body that often we do underuse, and we're going to really work into today. Pressing down through the sole of the right foot, keeping the hips nice and high. Take one final deep breath in. And on your exhale, slowly but gently start to release yourself all the way down to the floor. Give your legs a little shake, a stretch out, whatever you need. And gently, when you're ready, draw your knees into your chest. Now, if the low back's feeling a little tweaky today, roll yourself over and come up into seated. Otherwise, hands behind the thighs and just start to take a couple of little rocks and rolls up and down the spine. A sense that you're massaging the back of your body into the floor, and then eventually you're coming all the way up onto your seat. And from there, we're going to just spiral the legs around and find our way onto our all fours. So take a moment, plant the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And I just want you to notice whether you kind of naturally curve into the low back here. So have a sense that you're pressing the mat away with the palms, and I want you to draw the belly in. So we're really keeping the tummy nice and active. So as I say, we're going to start to work into the glutes a lot today. I'm going to come to face you actually, because this will be a bit easier. So take a nice deep breath in. I'd like you to lift your right knee up and take it out to the side, almost like a little peeing dog here. Flex through the back toes. Now on your exhale, you're going to squeeze the legs together into the center line, squeezing the bottom at the same time. Good. Inhale, taking the right knee out to the side, and exhale, squeezing the thighs into the center line, really controlling that movement. Good, let's take that 3 more times. So inhale, the knee comes out, and exhale, create that resistance so you're slowly, slowly bringing the thighs back to touch. Inhale, right knee comes out. Exhale, bring them together. Last time, inhale, send your right knee out to the side. Exhale, squeezing into the center line. And now from here, I want you to kick your right toes up behind you toward the ceiling. I'll come back sideways on. Keep the belly drawing in, try not to kind of collapse through the upper or lower body. Squeeze into your bottom, and you're simply going to just pulse your toes toward the ceiling. So we're pulsing the toes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep squeezing the bottom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, now pause. Lift your right toes as high up toward the sky as you possibly can, and you can either pause here, or if you want to come a little bit deeper, if possible, reach toward the right foot with your left hand, and if you can take hold, then press the foot into your hand, opening up through the chest. Again, we're keeping the bottom switched on, we're squeezing in, squeezing in, squeezing in. Oh, easier said than done. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Well done. Release, come back down to the all fours, draw in the tummy. Let's take all of that to the second side now. So inhale, lifting your left knee away from the floor, flex the toes, and starting to take your left knee out to the side. Exhale, thighs coming into the center line, squeezing the bottom as you go. Good. Inhale, lifting up and out. Exhale, squeezing in nice and slowly. Keep the bottom switched on. Good. Inhale, knee comes out. Exhale, gently but slowly draw the thighs together. Last 2. Inhale, take the left knee out. Exhale, squeeze the bottom, come all the way in. Last time, inhale out. And exhale, all the way in. Nice. Now kicking those toes up toward the sky behind you, as high as you can. And let's start to move into our pulses. So same again, pulsing toes to sky, squeeze the butt for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, And 1. Well done. Pause. Lift the toes as high as you possibly can. You're either going to stay there squeezing the bottom, or you're reaching back with the right hand, taking hold of the top of your foot and starting to press your foot into your hand. Keep the butt switched on, keep the belly switched on. This is so good for strengthening the glutes and also the hamstrings as well. Hold it here for 3, for 2, and for 1. Good. Release. Nice work. Take the knees so that they're mat distance apart, big toes together. Sit your bottom back onto the heels. Just have a little moment in child's pose. Rest the forehead to floor. Deep breath in through your nose. Big sigh out through your mouth. Let it go. Really nice. Okay, let's start to make our way up to downward facing dog. So spread the palms wide, starting to tuck under your toes, and then eventually lifting your seat up to the sky and stretching your heels down toward the mat. And take as many movements here as you need to, whether it's a little pedal through the feet, whether it's a little shake or nod of your head. Maybe you're rolling out through the shoulders. Just do whatever you need to start to open up through the upper, through the lower body. And again, revisit your breath. Nice full breaths in, full breaths out. Again, thinking about your breath being this full body experience. You can feel it moving and you can hear it. And when you're ready, start to find your way to stillness. Don't worry about having the legs straight, particularly if it rounds into the low back. You can always keep that small bend in the knees. On your inhale, look toward your hands and begin to walk your feet toward your hands, finding a little forward fold at the top of the mat. Keep that softness through the knees, allow the torso to hang super heavy, relax the neck. Nice deep breath in. And on your exhale, we're taking a nice slow and spinal roll up to standing. Stacking vertebra on vertebra, head arrives last, shoulders roll back, and we step the feet side by side. Turn your palms to face forwards. Take a deep inhale through your nose. On your exhale, bring your hands to prayer position at your heart center. Let's move through a couple of lunging suns. Inhale, stretch your arms above your head, looking up to your thumbs. And on your exhale, soften your knees to take your forward fold. Big breath in, step just your left foot to the back of your mat, lower your left knee down to the floor, and inhale the arms high for low lunge. Stretching up through your fingertips. Start to bend a little deeper into the front knee, and again here, switch on the bottom, so squeezing into the glutes, noticing how that changes the sensation through the front of your left hip. Side stretch. Take hold of your left wrist with right hand. Inhale, reach up through the right arm, and exhale, take your side stretch over toward the right. Soften your shoulders away from the ears. Nice big breaths ballooning into your side body. Well done. Inhale, come up, lower your hands down to the floor, step back into a high plank and hold it there for a moment or two. So shoulders stack over top of the wrists. Again, think about drawing in the belly, pressing the mat away with the palms. And then as you exhale, gently lower both knees down to the floor. Then allow the chest and belly to travel all the way down with the elbows brushing the side rib cage as you lower. Inhale, low cobra, walk the hands forwards, plant the palms into the mat and start to lift your chest. Sliding shoulders away from the ears, keeping that soft bend in your elbows. Big breath out, takes the heart space down to the floor. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog, pressing all the way up and back. Full breath in, deep breath out. Relax your neck and let go of the weight of your head. Now on your next inhale, look forwards. Step your left foot between your hands or give it a little helping hand to take it through. Lower the back knee, low lunge, second side. Inhale, reach up through your arms. Stretching up through the fingertips, squeeze into your butt. Now sink just a little bit lower into the front knee. Good. Finding our side stretch from here. This time, left hand to right wrist, reach up through the right arm and take your side stretch toward the left. So have a sense that you're kind of landing in the position of the pose. Then start to switch on your breath and notice where the body is calling the breath to travel to. So maybe it's the right hip, maybe it's the right side body, Maybe it's the shoulders. Doesn't necessarily have to be the place where we think we're supposed to be working. As I say, just accept where the body is calling your attention today. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, lift up. Hands touch down to the floor. Step to the top of the mat, softening into the knees, forward fold. Big breath in, stretch your arms high, reach up. And big breath out, bring your hands to prayer position at your heart center. Good job. Inhale, stretch up through your arms, second round. Exhale, soften through your knees and take your fold. Breathe in, step just your right foot back this time. Lower the back knee down to the floor, and we're moving into a lizard style lunge now. So I want you to walk your left foot out toward the outer edge of the mat. Both hands are towards the inner edge of your front foot. Take a nice full breath in, and on your exhale, you can either stay as you are, or you can soften into the elbows to lower the chest, or maybe even bring the forearms down to a block or all the way down to the floor. So again, as we're thinking about our glutes and our bottom today, I want you to squeeze your bottom and the left knee into the outer left shoulder. Relax your neck and your head. Maybe even close your eyes here. And direct your breath again to wherever feels most intense in your body right now. Feel like you're riding out that storm with your breath. Good. Next inhale, rise back up onto your hands, tuck under your back toes and step back into high plank. Pause there for a moment again, finding belly button drawing in, pressing the mat away. Exhale, lower knees, chest, belly, all the way down to the floor. Keep brushing the side ribs with the elbows as you lower. Inhale to low cobra, draw the heart space forwards and up. And then on your exhale, come down, pressing yourself back into downward facing dog in your own time. Full breath in, deep and expansive breath out. Relax your jaw. Inhale, stepping your right foot to the outer edge of your right hand this time. So we're already taking that right foot nice and wide. All we need to do now is lower the back knee down to the floor and untuck the toes. Lizard lunge, second side, big breath in. Exhale, either softening into the elbows or again coming down onto the forearms or forearms to a block. Think about landing in the posture and then start to squeeze the bottom, squeeze the right knee into outer right shoulder. Once you've switched on those muscles, then allow yourself to soften through your neck and your jaw. Maybe close off your eyes and start to listen into your breath. Good. Shoulder blades soften away from the ears. Gravity just gently draws pubic bone down in the direction of front heel. Full breath into the center of heart space. Exhale, make your way back up onto your hands. Let's heel toe the right foot into the center of the mat now, so it's just easier to step forwards into our fold. Soften into the knees as you arrive there. Breathe in, stretch your arms above your head and look up. And then breathe out to take your hands to prayer at your heart center. Lovely. Step the feet side by side, coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. Inhale, bend into your knees and lengthen your arms alongside your ears. Transferring the weight back toward the heels so that the toes can easily lift, and thinking about really lengthening through the tailbone. Take a nice big breath up toward your fingertips, and then on your exhale, forward fold, hands toward the floor. Inhale, step both feet to the back of the mat, this time finding your high plank. If you're ready for full chaturanga, please feel free to take it. Otherwise, knees, chest and belly come all the way down. On your inhale, moving into cobra or upward facing dog if you prefer. And on your exhale, coming all the way back to find downward facing dog. Big breaths in, deep breaths out. Lovely, everyone. Look forward, step your left foot between your hands or give it a helping hand to take it through. Easy twisting lunge variation. So right hand stays grounded. Inhale, the left arm lifts up to the sky to open up through your chest. And we're going to give our shoulder a little bit of a rest here by taking our left hand behind our low back. And you might want to hold the waistband. You might want to reach toward the top of the right hip. Just do what feels good for you. Inhale into the left shoulder, exhale, roll it back to find even more space through the front body. And again, think about switching on the low body here. So squeezing inner thighs and squeezing into the bottom. Try to relax the right shoulder away from the right ear slightly. Take a full breath in. Then as you exhale, look down. Plant both of your hands down to the floor and then press the mat away to rise all the way up, coming into our high lunge. Now soften into the back knee here. Feel the tummy drawing in and switching on. And from here, we're going to get into the glutes even more now. So I'd like you to bring your right fingertips down toward your sit bones. So it's almost kind of like you're holding onto your right bottom cheek. That's it. Nice big breath in. Exhale, squeeze down to where your fingertips are. And then if you want to make this more intense, you're going to begin to lower that right knee in the direction of the floor, but it's going to remain hovering. So try to avoid taking it all the way down. Now this is where the breath really needs to kick in. Deep breaths in and full breaths out. Feeling the sensation of the posture and also having patience with ourselves. If you're wobbling or shaking a little bit, that's absolutely fine. It's just a sign that the muscles are building strength here. You can do 2 more big breaths here. Keep squeezing down into the glutes. Keep that right knee hovering. And then gently start to release the right knee all the way back down to the floor, nice and carefully. Let's move into a twisted lunge now. So let's switch the arms. Right arm comes up, left arm comes down. Hook the right elbow over the left knee. Bring the prayer hands together, press them and start to revolve through the torso. On your in-breath, think about really lengthening through the crown of your head, creating space between each of your vertebrae. And then on the exhale, see if you can twist just a little bit deeper here. Really nice. Softening into the belly on the exhale. See if you can soften the shoulders away from the ears slightly. Take a full inhale. As you breathe out, look down, take your hands to the floor, and we're going to step to the top of our mat once again, taking a little forward fold. On your inhale, reach the arms high, look up, and on your exhale, just take your left arm down by the side body, so the right arm stays reaching up. Now take the weight into your right foot, so you can lift the left foot away from the floor, and kick your left foot towards your bottom, taking hold of the top of the foot. Moving towards dancer's pose here. Squeeze into your bottom, and then when you're ready, kick the left foot back into the hand and reach your right fingertips forwards. Make sure that your gaze is on one still spot. And again, use that concentration on breath to silence the chit-chat of your mind. Good. Keep pressing the mat away with the sole of your standing foot. Well done. Let's release. Feet come down side by side, hands to prayer. Nice big inhale. Reach up through the fingertips. Exhale, soften the knees, take your fold. Stepping back, find your high plank, and then lower down onto your belly and meet me there, whether it's through chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. So coming down, meeting flat to the floor, let's take our hands one on top of the other and pile our forehead onto our hands. Now think about activating your legs. Pull up through your thighs and really point through your toes. Squeeze down into your bottom. Take a full breath in, and on your exhale, just lift your left leg. Lift it up as high as you can away from the mat. Maybe it's just the shin that lifts away. Maybe you can lift the thigh away as well. Keep pulling up through left kneecap, pointing through the toes, and think about squeezing down into your bottom. That same kind of space where we had our fingertips when we were in our lunge. Another big breath in. Exhale, release the tops of the legs to the floor. Hands come under shoulders. Take yourself back into downward facing dog, bottom high. Full breaths in and deep breaths out. Good. Second side, look forwards. Step your right foot between your hands this time. And let's make our way into easy twisting lunge variation. So as we breathe in, the right arm stretches up toward the ceiling. We're opening up through the chest. And then from here, we're wrapping the right hand behind the back. So you can either hold on to waistband or reach to the top of the left hip. Doesn't really matter which, just make sure that you're comfortable. Keep rolling right shoulder onto upper back and try to soften through your left shoulder blade, maybe even the left elbow crease as well, so you're not locking out into that joint. Inner thighs squeeze in, squeezing into your bottom. Good. Another deep breath in. Exhale, take your hands down to the floor, and then you're pressing through the front foot to rise all the way up into your high lunge. Soften through the back knee just slightly, and start to draw in your tummy. So coming into that nice deep lunge, switching on our bottom, left hand comes down. So the fingertips of our left hand move toward the sit bone. We're kind of holding onto the left butt cheek and we're squeezing, squeezing, squeezing to switch it on. Big breath in. On the exhale, start to lower the left knee in the direction of the floor, but keep it hovering away. So find your biting point here. If it gets too intense, just come up a little higher and pause there. But try and really welcome any wobbles, any shakes that might be going on for you, and use your breath to ride out that storm. Allow the breath to grow more intense, a bit deeper. Allow it to grow a bit louder. Feel it moving into the belly and across the heart space. Good, one more full inhale. On your exhale, you're gently, gently lowering your left knee all the way down to the ground with control. And let's switch the arms to move into our twist. So right arm comes down, left arm comes up, and we're crossing the left elbow over the right thigh this time. Bring the hands into prayer, press them together, and revolve through your chest. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Full breaths in, deep breaths out. It's easy to tense up when we come into twists, but I want you to think about where you can soften. Belly, shoulders, maybe even the space between your eyebrows. Good, take one more full breath in. Then look down, place your hands to the floor and step yourself to the top of your mat. Little forward fold here. Inhale, reach your arms high, lift up. And from here, let's take it into our dancer's pose on the second side. Right arm comes down alongside us this time. So we're stepping onto the left foot and kicking the right heel to the bottom. Take hold of the top of the foot if you can. Squeeze the inner thighs together and really switch on your butt. And then begin to kick your right foot into your right hand and reach your left fingertips forwards. Again, moving through your little mental checklist. Have you fixed your gaze on one spot in front of you? Can you still feel a connection with your breath? Have you still got your bottom switched on? Another big inhale. Exhale, feet come side by side, hands to prayer. Inhale, reach up through the arms, stretch up. Exhale, hands to floor, soften through your knees. Step back into your high plank and lower yourself down. Full chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, whatever works best for you. So second side, we're bringing our hands one on top of the other, resting our forehead down onto our hands and starting to point through our toes and activate our legs. Take a nice full breath in through the nose. This time on your exhale, you're lifting your right leg away from the floor. Just lift it up as high as you can. Remember that the more active your right leg is, the lighter it will feel. So think about engaging through your thigh. Think about pointing through your toes, but most importantly, really squeezing down into your right bottom cheek. Power yourself with your breath. 2 more big, big breaths here. Good, release the top of the leg to the floor, tuck under your toes, downward facing dog, take the bottom high. If you need to take a breath or 2 in child's pose, you're very welcome to do so. Spread the hands wide in your down dog, let go of the weight of the head, let it hang down. Big sigh out through the mouth if you need it. And on your next inhale, look ahead, step your left foot between your hands, and we're coming straight up into high lunge this time. So press the mat away, lift the arms up alongside the ears. Again, soften into the back knee, but just a little bit this time, drawing in the belly. Now let's see if we can come into a high twisted lunge this time. So right elbow crosses over left thigh, palms come together, press them into the center line and start to revolve through the upper body. If you need to lower the back knee again here, that's absolutely fine to do so. Otherwise, see if you can press strongly through the right heel to lengthen through the back of your right leg. Good work. Take another full breath in. Now, on your exhale, let's open up into warrior two. So lift up through the chest, ground the back heel down to the floor and bring your fingertips onto your hips. Soften nice and deeply into the front knee. Feel the outer edge of the left foot pressing down into the mat. Now you're gently going to press your right hand to the right hip to tuck it in so that you're not kind of in this position. You want to stack your shoulders over top of your hips. Left arm stretches out alongside you. So we're just pausing here today, keeping right hand to right hip and taking our gaze toward left fingertips. Full breaths in and deep and expansive breaths out. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Keep pressing through the outer edge of your back foot. Good. One more full inhale. Now bring the hands to prayer position at the heart center. Goddess pose. Turn the left toes in just a smidge and the right toes all the way out. The knees bend. And I want you to keep your bottom kind of slightly higher than the line of the knees. Roll the shoulders back and down. Curl under the tailbone, so there's this feeling almost that you're leaning back slightly, so you're not kind of leaning forwards and sticking the bottom out. Good, full breath in. Deep breath out, sink a little lower if you can. And then lengthen through the legs, hands to your hips. Let's heel toe the feet in until they come hip distance apart. Okay, so I'm going to mirror you here. I'd like you to keep your right hand on your right hip and you're either bringing your left hand down to hold on to the front of your shin, or you're taking yogic toe lock, which is the first two fingers and your thumb wrapping around the left big toe. Hold on, I said I'd mirror you and I didn't. Right hand to right hip and then taking hold of your left shin or yogic toe lock. Now, bring the weight into the right foot and lift the left foot away. Now we're going to lift, she says, lift our left foot out to the side. Doesn't have to come in line with the hip, and gently bring the legs back together. A little bit like we did at the start of the practice. Twice more. So inhale, see if you can take the leg out to the side as far as you can, and then exhale, bring it in. Just one more time. Press the floor away with the standing foot, lift the leg out to the side, and then gently draw it in. Well done. Release the foot down to the floor. There's a bit of a killer. Fingertips to the mat. Bit of a funky transition here. I want you to come up onto the balls of the feet, bend your knees, and then bring the hands behind you so that you can sit the bottom down to the floor and stretch your legs out in front. Good. Very graceful. Give your legs a little bit of a shake. And we'll draw the left knee into the chest and then cross it over top of the right. So I want you to have the outer edge of your left foot on the floor here if possible. If that doesn't work because the hips are very tight, you can bring the sole of the foot to the mat if that feels better for you. Now flex through your right toes, fingertips touch down to the floor alongside the hips, lift up through your chest. Inhale, stretching up through your arms, and exhale, let's take a little forward fold from here. So just reaching your hands as far forwards as you can, feasibly in your body. So don't worry if you can't hold on to the foot. Doesn't necessarily mean you're better or worse at this pose. Again, you're just trying to look for the sensation in your body that feels like a good release for you. So the chest might just move like 0.5 centimeter forwards, that's fine. I want you to close your eyes wherever you're at, forget about what it looks like, and just start to feel into the places in your body that are drawing your attention. Let's try and soften into your low back. Maybe you're breathing into the back of your right leg or into the outer left hip. And if it's intense, then you're deepening your breath, you're making sure that you can hear it, and you're making sure that you can feel its movement. Good, just take one more full breath in. And gently, slowly lift up through the chest and just step yourself straight back into downward facing dog. Nice work. Okay, let's take it straight to the second side. Breathe in, step your right foot between your hands, give it a little helping hand to take it through if you need. Moving up into our high lunge. Reach up through the arms. And as you arrive there, get your feet nice and steady, soften into the back knee slightly, draw in the belly. Let's take it into our twisted high lunge. Left elbow crosses over the right thigh. We're bringing the hands to prayer and then pressing them together to begin to revolve through our torso. Think on the inhale that you're lengthening through the crown, and on the exhale that you're softening the belly to turn deeper. Now remember, you can always lower the back knee down to the floor if that just feels a little steadier for you today. Otherwise, I want you to really reach through that left heel so the back leg is nice and straight, nice and strong. Take another full breath in, and on our exhale, we're going to move to warrior two. So lift the chest, ground the back heel down to the floor, and take the hands onto the hips for this variation today. I'll spin back around. So we're sinking nice and deep into the right knee, pressing through the outer edge of both feet. We're getting that nice external rotation through the front thigh. Left hand remains on the left hip. We're giving it just a gentle push in to stack shoulders over top of hips and reaching the right arm forwards. Move your gaze toward the right fingertips, reaching out through them. The arm is nice and active. Deep breaths here. I always find it amazing when we pause in warrior two, how difficult it actually really feels. Particularly when we've got the hand on the hip, because sometimes it just makes this whole left hip switch on so much more. Full breath in. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer at your heart center, goddess pose. Right toes turn in, left toes turn out, and we're bending into the knees to find our way into the posture. So make sure that your bottom doesn't come lower than the line of your knees. You want to keep it slightly higher. Belly's drawing in. We're leaning the upper body back slightly, curling under the tailbone. So there's this sense of stacking the shoulders over top of the hips, breathing nice and deeply into the thighs. Now, if you want to come deeper again, you might want to lift the heels away from the floor this time and balance here. Again, use your glutes to stabilize. You really switch on your bottom. Keep leaning the upper body back and squeezing in the tummy. Good job. For 3, 2, and 1. Lower the heels if they're lifted, hands to hips, heel toe your feet in until they are about hip distance apart. Now I promise to actually mirror you this time. So let me think. Our right leg is our standing leg. Our left hand comes to the left hip. So left hand on left hip, and the right hand comes down either to the front of the right shin, or you're taking your peace fingers and your thumb and you're wrapping them around your right big toe. So transfer the weight into your left foot so you can lift that right foot away, squeeze your bottom, again, really helpful for keeping you a little bit more steady in this pose. And 3 times we're inhale, opening the leg out, doesn't have to come in line with the hip, and exhale, bringing the leg in. Twice more like that. Squeeze the butt, inhale, bring it out. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, bring it out. And exhale, bring it in. Good. Gently release the feet to the floor. Give your legs a little shake if you need. Fingertips reach down. A little funky transition. Lift up through the heels if you can. Sit down into the knees, hands behind you as your little breaks to sit your bottom to the floor, and then stretch your legs out in front. Well done. Okay, second side of our half cow face pose. So I'd like you to bend your right knee and then cross the right knee over the top of the left. Remember, you can always pop a block underneath this foot or bring the sole of the foot to the floor if that stack isn't exact or if it feels a little uncomfortable to have the outer edge of the foot planted. Okay, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, lift up through the chest, reaching up through your arms, and on your exhale, gently, slowly beginning to take your fold forwards. And just take your hands down to wherever rests most comfortably for you, whether the hands are on the floor, on the shin, or maybe you are holding onto that front foot. Get into the shape. Close your eyes. Remember, you can play around with switching on certain muscle groups, like flexing through your left toes. Maybe you're pulling up through the left thigh. And then once you've switched on the spaces in the body that feel good, then start to relax others. You might even slide the bottom set of teeth slowly from left to right, particularly if the jaw is feeling quite tight today. Relax the belly and the shoulders. Allow yourself to find more space through the low back. Just a last couple of nice big breaths here. Good work. Inhale, gently lift up through your chest. Stretch your legs out along the floor. Give them a little shake, a little well done. And then from here, let's start to make our way down onto our back. So controlling the movement, reach the hands forwards and gently roll yourself down with as much control as you can. And as you reach the floor, rest the back of the head onto the mat and hug your knees into your chest. Take a little rock from left to right, just like we did at the start of the practice, massaging the back of the body into the floor. Maybe giving yourself a little well done for getting up, for getting onto your mat, and for giving it a really good go. And we'll come into happy baby from here. So soles of the feet, almost like you're standing on the ceiling, knees wide like they're traveling in the direction of the armpits. And you're either holding onto the back of the thighs if that feels kind in your body today, or you're holding onto the outer edges of your feet. And rather than thinking about really hugging those knees down into the armpits, I just want you to bring your awareness into the back of your body and feel your spine grounding into the floor. Maybe you're softening your chin into your chest in order to find a little more length through the back of your neck. And if it feels almost therapeutic to take a few breaths, sighing the out breath through the mouth, please feel free to now. And when you're ready, closing the lips, coming back to breathing in and out through the nose and finding your way into final Shavasana. So again, whatever shape works best in your body, whether the legs are extended or the soles of the feet are on the floor or together. And if you want to take any little cushions behind the back of the head or the knees or any props that you've got nearby that you want to use for your Shavasana. Once you've found your way into that space, let your eyes close and let go of your body, knowing that the physical aspect of this practice is complete. Knowing that you've used your breath to get you here. And now you can just observe the movement of your breath in order to hopefully quieten the chatter of your mind. So if you've got a little bit longer this morning to stay and soak up your Shavasana a little longer, then please feel free just to stay exactly as you are for as long as you possibly can. But if you do know that you need to be making your way, just begin to take your awareness first of all into your hands and your feet. And then in your own time, reintroduce a little bit of movement. Maybe you're wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe you're taking some circles through your wrists and your ankles. And eventually you're finding a nice full body stretch. The arms lift over the head, the legs stretch away along the floor. And in your own time, you can hug your knees to your chest and roll yourself over to your favorite side, just pausing there for a moment, giving yourself a final moment of reflection, but also of appreciation for your body, for your motivation to get onto your mat today, and for all the hard work that you put into this practice. So when it does feel right, start to find your way into your comfortable seat. You can keep the eyes closed if that helps you feel a little bit more grounded, but bring your hands to prayer at your heart center and just bow your chin to your chest. And we'll just take this final moment to seal the energy that we've created in our practice this morning. You can join me in the sound of Om. Nice breath in through the nose. Taking your prayer hands up to the space between your eyebrows to lengthen up nice and tall. Wishing each of you peace in your thoughts. Prayer hands in front of your lips. Peace in your words. And finally, hands in front of the heart. Peace in your actions. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. What an absolute pleasure.